Thank you for joining us. I'm Mary Yanez, Director of the Senior Adult Program at the El Paso Community College, and of course this is Mature Living. As usual, and we love saying that, is that we bring you information about programs and services for a variety of our community, whether it's in El Paso or in Juarez, and you know that community service is so important, and that's how many nonprofits survive and how they help people. So today we've invited Sister Margaret Sierra, who is a Maryknoll nun, and sister. Welcome, sister, to Mature Living. And then you've brought Rosa Elida Villela Hernandez, who is the director of, and we're going to find out about the Centro Santa Catalina. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
You brought some beautiful things that we're going to get to talk about.
Okay.
Sister, tell me about Centro Santa Catalina, how long it's been in existence, and what's a cooperative also?
Well, Centro Santa Catalina is in existence about 20 years, and it began with a Dominican sister, and right now we have a couple of sisters that help out. Myself, who is a Maryknoll sister, and then we have Sister Maureen Gallagher, who's a Dominican sister, Adrienne, and she is director of sales. Then we have two other sisters that collaborate and go to Juarez and take our products there, bring the products from Juarez over to our store here in El Paso to sell. That's Sister Fran Hicks, who's a Franciscan sister, and Sister Rita, who is a Holy Spirit sister.
Yes. So how is it that you help in a cooperative? What is a cooperative? And what are the women and doing and
Yes,
working?
well, a cooperative is a group of people who come together and try to sell a product or work with different materials in order to, all of the women are receiving the same pay, and they all work together and work as a team, and so that also Centro Santa Catalina has prayer time for them on Fridays. Sometimes there's masses, sometimes there's reflections, retreats, and so it's trying to help the women in many different ways.
Yes.
And they have different workshops like solar ovens and different things.
You brought a lot of little samples of purses, and Rosa, I wanted to ask you, show me, sister, and the products that the ladies are making to live, right, so that they can earn money to support their families, sus familias,
Yeah.
Para sostener sus familias. We'll start with sister.
Okay, I'll show this. This is a shawl.
A shawl.
And the woman's picture and a little story about her is here on all the purses and tablecloths and anything that we sell in the co-op. Have a little tag that shows a little bit, the woman reflect and talk a little bit about themselves. This woman here that made this shawl is Lourdes Arnal, and she said that she'd been coming to the co-op for prayer time for 20 months, and that she was thankful to God. She says in this little paper here that she talks about grateful to God and to all the women that she's been working with for the past 3 years, and she's grateful for all the people who support the Centro. I also wanted to say something about the tutoring program that's part of the Centro Santa Catalina. So we have a co-op where the women sew these products, and then we have some schoolrooms where we have tutoring that takes place for children from 5 to age 14.
And I do want to introduce Rosa Elida, who is the Centro Director. Nos puede decir algunas palabras del Centro como directora del Centro, acerca de la cooperativa y también de la escuelita que tienen.
Bueno, pues la cooperativa es un pequeño negocio, como un pequeño negocio comunitario. Son un grupo de mujeres que se reúnen, se organizan y se ponen de acuerdo para hacer algún producto. En este caso, las mujeres del Centro Santa Catalina hacen un producto artesanal, ¿verdad? Son costuras artesanales típicas con telas de México, ¿verdad? para lo que ellas logran obtener con este producto, pues se lo reparten equitativamente entre ellas, todas las que forman el grupo.
Para sostener sus familias.
Exactamente, ellas
viven.
apoyan a sus familias. No quiere decir que con esto logren cubrir todos los gastos, porque pues es poco lo que obtienen, pero sí apoyan a su familia, a sus hijos.
Yes. Pues that explains, you know, in so many words in Spanish, and I know this is a bilingual town, so this show is going to be really great, but we are going to have another interview that we're going to air later on Mature Living in Spanish, so that we can. So, sister, where you're located in both sides of the border, tell me how that works.
Okay.
Oh, and tell me about the children before we move on. Tell me about the children.
Well, their ages from 5 to 14. There's about 140 to 180 students at it usually, and maybe some people don't know that in Juarez, the children only go to school half a day. So half a day, they don't have any classes, and so our teachers help with computers and with any help that they need in math or reading or whatever they need. So the tutors, there's 7 tutors that help with that.
Yes, and I understand that you all also teach them values and those important things in gardening and how to take care of the environment and how to recycle and why it's important. I think it's a wonderful after-school program that you have for kinder up to junior high school age students. And are the maestros, are the teachers all volunteers, or how does that work?
No, they get a salary, they get paid. The cooperative women share the money that is made from their products. Yeah. And the donations that come into Centro Santa Catalina then help pay for the tutors.
So what are we asking our community to help with, sister? To purchase products, to call you? How can they get a hold of you all?
Very good. Okay, so the products are sold in Juarez also, but mostly they're sold here in our store in El Paso. But most people buy it either at parishes where we sell or conventions or at our store. We need people to call us and I'll give you that number in a minute, before they come to our house. We live in that house, but also in the basement is where the store is. Okay. So then people can make appointments to come to us. I think at the end, when we're at the end.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give the address right now.
Okay.
Well, first of all, the phone number is very important. Area code 915-564-9003. And then also they can make an appointment to visit the little store. But you're out in the community, and we want people to invite you to demonstrate and to show the products. And that is at 1207 Alabama. And so hopefully you'll get some calls, sister, from this interview. But we wish you great success. These are beautiful. I'm already thinking about buying some things to help out the co-project.
Thank you.
We love to bring you stories of our families here in this community. And we have just met, and I know I've met him before, Daniel Fresquez. And his family has been in this region in Socorro for many, many years. And I wanted to interview him a little bit and have him give us an account of his family history. He's recently done some genealogy research. And so we've invited him to come. Thank you for being with us,
Thank you.
Mr. Fresquez.
Happy to be here.
We were just talking about your family, and you grew up here in Socorro, right? Tell me a little bit about those years, and then you left, then came back.
Well, I was a member of a large family.
Yes.
My father was extremely dedicated to the Socorro Mission Church. He would work there. He would build the nativity scenes every year. And I was raised and left for California. Gone 38 years and returned to take care of our family farm.
What was your father's name?
Santiago Fresquez.
Okay, yes. Fresquez with a Q.
Q-U-E-Z, yes.
And tell me a little bit about your family and living in Socorro, I know there's a lot of history in that part. As a matter of fact, I think I have a great-grandmother that is buried in the Socorro Cemetery. We all have something to do with the valley.
Yes, because our family has lived there for over 300 years, since 1680, the revolution that occurred in New Mexico when the Spanish were ejected by the Native Americans. Since they've lived there so long, we've been tied in with that mission. And when I returned from California, I started researching some of our history, and I found it just so much fun.
Yeah. And what was the reason you returned to Socorro, to the
I returned to take
Mission
care of
Valley?
our family farm.
Yes, okay. And so what have you discovered since you've been here?
Well, I had this wonderful time exploring the history of our first pioneer ancestors that arrived in 1625 with a Fray Benavides in the, well, actually, every 3 years there was a major caravan that would arrive in Santa Fe, you know, the capital of New Spain in this region. And along with it came a miner by the name of Jean Frisch, who was our original ancestor. And it was just so much fun to trace the genealogy of his life, because he settled and had to change his name immediately to Juan Fresco. And the name then evolved from Frisch to Fresco to Fresquez, and now it's Fresquez, an evolved American name.
Yes. Are you, in your family, are you the one that is most interested in sharing the history and of your family?
Yes, because I work with the El Paso Mission Trail Association. I'm part of it. I've been there working with them a few years, and we believe in history. We believe that, you know, a person is not really complete, like some people say. You know, it's like a leaf, and you're part of a tree. And if you don't know what tree you grow on, then you really don't know who you are and your history.
Your roots, like they
Yes.
say. We have to know our roots, where we come from, who we are. And the people that open doors, crash doors, build this wonderful community where we live here in El Paso and in the surrounding areas. Very, very old. It goes back many, many years to the missions.
Yes.
And beyond, I'm sure. And so, what have you discovered? What interesting story can you share about your family?
Oh, it was fascinating stuff I found. This miner, Jean Frisch, arrives. He's returning actually to start work on his silver mine with other fellow miners, Flemish, and his mine is burnt out because Spanish did not want a foreigner from Flanders to be acquiring silver. So because he's been burnt out, he moves to Santa Cruz and marries, and of course has to change his name because in order to fit in at that time, with the strict rules and the religious principles of that time, he changed his name to Juan Fresco. And he marries and he settles and he receives a royal land grant actually in Santa Cruz. And from there, the history goes on. His descendants became santeros. They were people that would make religious articles for the churches. And so when I went back there, I found these old churches there full of art that was made by my ancestors, particularly one artist whose name is Pedro Antonio Fresquez, part of the evolution of the name. And he became the first American Spanish, Native American Spanish santero.
Unfortunately, we don't interview our elders when we're younger. We don't think that's important. But when we get into the older years, we say, oh my God, I should have talked to my grand-aunt
Yes.
or my grandfather or great-grandfather. Why didn't I ask him? Where did they come from? But we do have a class with the Senior Adult Program, a free class that we teach Introduction to Genealogy.
Oh, excellent.
And it gets them started. I would love for you to visit that class and share some of your stories to the students, the seniors that are registered for the class. So they can call us at the Senior Adult Program at 831-7801 if they want more information on that free class. And it's ongoing right now in the spring. But it's so interesting to talk to you and meet you. But I really appreciate this little conversation. I think it probably stirred up maybe some interest in some of our viewers to do this research. Thank you for being with us. I appreciate it.
My
Mr.
pleasure.
Fresquez,
Thank you.
Daniel Fresquez,
Thank you.
Fresquez with a Q. Thank you. And we'll be back with more Mature Living. Thank you for staying with us. Of course, we want to continue our conversation here on Mature Living about recovering our ancestry and recovering our legacy. And so we've invited Lourdes Arnal de Prats, who's one of the counselors here at Mission del Paso campus. And she's been with the college many, many years, and she has this very special interest. And they invite speakers to come to the campuses to speak to students about many, many different topics. But today we're going to talk about a grandmother that is dedicated to preserving Mother Earth and to teach us what she knows. Thank you for being with us.
Oh, I'm so glad we're here, Mary. What a beautiful re-encounter. Remember when we met in '84 with Adelante Mujer Hispana?
Yes.
And it's like we're going full circle, and this is so beautiful. And to be here this afternoon talking to you about Abuelita Guadalupe Tonalmi, coming from Mexico.
Yes.
Oh, it's such a beautiful event. Thank you for having me.
And I know
I really appreciate it.
She was here in February the 10th, and but she's going to return in May, so that's why we're talking
Yes,
today.
most definitely. This time, Abuelita Tonalmi is bringing the documentary that has been made about her life, and she's one of the Últimos Abuelos, one of the last elders who really hold the knowledge given to us by our ancestors, whether we call them Mexicayot, which include Mayan, Aztecs, Toltecs, Olmecs, all these beautiful cultures that we have in Mexico. Even our Rarámuri is here in the north.
Is that considered pre-Columbian?
Almost definitely.
Yes.
Definitely pre-conquest.
Yes.
Yes.
Wow. You know, and to get to know this abuelita that travels, she's 74 years old. She travels to many, many places.
Right.
To give lectures, to show her documentary. What is she like?
You know what? She is the epitome of a good abuelo. She walks by example. She says we are going to pray for the water. And she takes her backpack and she goes with a small group of people and she walks, I would say, a week. Yes. In diferentes jornadas, different stops. And everywhere she goes, she kneels to Mother Earth. We call her Tonantzin. And she asks that she continue to be that giving mother that Mother is, Tonantzin is to all of us. No matter what we treat Mother Earth, she still continued to give us food, give us shelter, give us something to drink. We pray for water. Abuelita Tonalmi, her main prayer is water. And it starts with the water from the womb when we have life. Without that fluid, we wouldn't be here.
That's right.
And if we remember that and we see every drop of water on Mother Earth, just like that, then we would treat it differently. And that's one of her main teachings from Abuelita Tonalmi. And then the main thing is that she continues to embrace, like we did with Adelante Mujer Hispana, we try to make sure we embrace women, not as feminists, but as women who can take care of the ceremony again, ceremony at home when you're cooking, ceremony in Sunday mornings when we're going to church or service with our family, because improving the life of one female improves the life of many, many individuals because it goes in spiral. In spiral down, spiral up. Yes. Our ancestors taught us, and Abuelita carries that message, 7 generations past, 7 generations forward. We need to remember and regain the knowledge given to us before the Spaniards, before the Pilgrims, before everybody who came and kind of conquer or tried to. But the thing is, we went dormant a little bit. Abuelita is one that is ringing the bell and saying, time to wake up, daughters. Time to wake up, mija. Time to move on. Yes. Because our 7 generations forwards need to inherit a better planet, a better world.
Planet, a better earth. And she walks in the mountains. She climbs mountains, and she's amazing. the students at Mission del Paso are so lucky to have heard her, but she's coming back. When is she coming back?
She's coming back in May. She's been the pioneer of this beautiful, I would say, feminist movement. If we want to translate it into the Western mentality.
Yes.
But in reality, the codices, Borgia codices, teach us that as women, we will go to the mountain and we will spend time among ourselves, singing, dancing, talking to each other, learning from each other. So she's been doing that for 26 years. It's called moon dance. And basically, we dance to the moon, and no, we're not witches. We're just feminine entities regaining
it's almost
that
praying.
knowledge and getting that beautiful energy, because when you have a full moon, you see the light all around, and that's what Abuelita is teaching us. See the light outside and see the light within, and then share that light.
And because we are in this day and age, we miss all that. We don't even notice it. We're with our cell phones or doing other things or
Exactly.
stressed out. And we don't do those kinds of things to really notice what's around us and how thankful we are.
Yeah, and again, Abuelita, she walks to the mountains and she does her prayers. That's her way of connecting to Mother Earth. But then she jumps in an airplane, and now this year she's traveling to Austria, she's traveling to Paris, she's going to República Dominicana, she's going to Mexico. She's going to open at least 5 different circles, and I'm going to be very blessed with her coming to open my own circle in Silver City, New Mexico. For my new danza will be called Yolotzin Mestli del Sarwest, which basically means the heart of love from the moon. And she has her Xochimesli, which is flowers that shower us every full moon, and that help us, again, be happy, be aware of our mission, be aware of how Mother Earth, the children, the animals, everything and anything. And then we're in the classroom. We bring that message to our students, and we tell them, become good doctors, become good nurses, love your community. Don't leave El Paso. We need you here in El Paso. So more and more is so beautiful that we are awakening. And there's people thinking, oh, the world is going down. But they don't know if that there's Abuelita Tonalmi, there's Abuela Yolotzin Mestli, there's Abuela Malicoat. There's these other abuelas who are making sure that with our backpack on our shoulder, we're taking care of our future. And that's important.
Yes, and it's so important to think about recovering our earth and our energy, so that the children that come after us can continue to enjoy a good life here on earth.
Yes.
And recovering our legacy. Is there something else that I haven't asked you that you need to share with our audience?
The main thing is our abuelos tells us that we are not in isolation. We are in a circle. We are to be embraced, and we are to embrace. The African proverb says, it takes a village.
Yes.
Well, it wasn't just made up. It's the way they live, and it's the way they live, whether we're talking Tenochtitlan, whether we're talking Sierra de Chihuahua, whether we're talking Havasupai in Arizona, or anywhere else. That's one of the main things. Stay within the circle. And the main thing also is that our abuelos, we say the child always needs to be heard, because they are connected to creation, to God, to the stars. The children will come and tell you exactly what they think, and they will tell you what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong. And then we tell them, sit down, be quiet, and listen. And we become ugly people, ugly abuelos. We need to be the kind of abuelos that do the storytelling, that turn off the TV. Because when you go to somebody's home and the grandson is here watching the tablet and eating chicken nuggets and not even saying hello to an elder who walks in, we are failing that child. And then we say, oh, the children, they don't respect anymore. The young people, they don't know who they are. Yeah, because we are going through the bad media, the fake news, they say, right? With things that don't really matter, that don't give them any values. But now, if we retake what Abuelita Tonalmi brings, what I bring as an Abuela Malicoat, and we give it to our children in the games, in the storytelling, in the making cookies, in the taking
Conversations.
when they finally open the Rio Grande, we take them to the river and we take them. This is what the water used to look like here when we have freedom to flow.
Yes. And so it's not lost forever.
Oh,
we can
no,
we
no, no,
can
no, no, no,
save
no.
we can save our families.
Tenemos
and-
los guardianes.
Yes.
The protectors are here and they're taking care of things. And
That's
and
good.
there's many of us saying, yes, we will walk behind you because of those 7 generations in front of us.
Thank you, Lourdes, for being with us
Oh,
today.
what a pleasure.
We've been talking with Lourdes Arnal de Prats, who is the coordinator of the Education 1300 program, but she's also a professor at the El Paso Community College. And we're going to show her number so that you can get more information about the programs she's bringing. Thank you for being with us. I'm Mary Yanez, director of the Senior Adult Program, and so I have with me one of our anchors from Telemundo.
It's always wonderful. It's just a wonderful event. All the other communities coming together, great organizations are putting this together and making this possible today. And a lot of seniors are coming and just enjoying the morning. I know it's a little bit after the St. Valentine's Day, but even though we still celebrate the month of love, you know, it doesn't really matter if it's 17 or 18, we still celebrate.
It should be all year round. We should love one another all year round. We just had a wonderful presentation at the Love Conference with Rosa Guerrero, who received a Lifetime Achievement Award as an educator, a humanitarian, as everything that she is for us in El Paso. They're playing some rock and roll back there. Do you remember some of those days?
Oh man, dancing is wonderful. See, people with a cane, people in wheelchairs, dancing is for everybody.
One of the things you talked about was making connections, how we're all connected to the universe, to plants, to each other. Even our bodies are connected, and that was your message today, because our theme is making connections. Where there is love, there is life.
There is life, and love is the most beautiful, beautiful thing that we can have to give to others, from the little ones to the big ones, to the animals, to the plants, to ecology, to Mother Earth and nature. Love is what you need every day.
Thank you so much for being here with us and giving this beautiful message of love to our seniors. There's about over 600 here, Rosa.
Thank you so
Good.
much.